I heard a quote somewhere that someone said, you're only as good as your top 3 lines, and that's probably true, because people aren't going to scroll back very far. If they don't like what they see at the top, they'll just move on. So bear that in mind, but also experiment with it. So kind of look at your filters, maybe say this week I'm only going to use these 2 filters, next week I'll use every single filter, see how it goes, and then go from there. Because like I said with other things, everybody's audience is different and everybody's pictures are different, so what works for one person might not necessarily work for you. It's best to experiment for yourself. Tip number 13 follows on from number 12. Don't rely on the filters that are provided by Instagram. They have, ones that then they do add to them all the time, and they're very nice filters that they have. But a lot of people don't realise that if you just click the spanner button on the right, you can customise your own pictures. And I've started doing this now, and I tend to customise them all in more or less the same way. But it allows me to just kind of nudge the brightness slightly up or down, and kind of give it a bit more personalised look, so that it doesn't look like every other one that's used the same filter. Apparently, high exposure or high brightness and contrast with warm temperatures are the ones that get the most interaction. I did read somewhere else that something with a blue hue will get you more interaction, but I think that's on Facebook. On Twitter, I don't think it makes a difference. People are just excited to see a picture in their feed. For Instagram, warm temperatures, it tends to make your pictures look warm. Your feed then looks warm. You're like a warm kind of a person, I suppose. I don't really know how it works, but it tends to help if you use high brightness and contrast, so that again your picture stands out and it's very clear to see what it is if you used high contrast. My 14th tip is to add emojis. I always forget to do this one. I'm rubbish at emojis. I really haven't got to grips with them at all. Perhaps I should have made it a New Year's resolution to learn how to do emojis. But these days you can have emojis of all sorts of everything, can't you? Apparently using emojis in your caption makes people more likely to click on them, and to double click, like, whatever. Using emojis is apparently the way forward. People tend to like them, I think, because it makes it look like you're more fun, and you can probably say a lot more with an emoji than you would with words in certain respects, as long as people can tell what the emoji is, I suppose. So yeah, use emojis. Again, I would say, as with everything else, experiment with it. See if emojis make a difference for you, because they may and they may not. My 15th and final tip for growing your Instagram following is to tell a story. And I don't mean that every single picture needs to have a really massive long caption where you go on about, and then we went to the shops, and then blah blah, and then she said, and then I said, and then I took this picture. You don't have to have a really long caption, and it's definitely not a place to promote anything, to promote your blog, or it works, for goodness sake. The next saggy belly I see on Instagram, I'm going to go crazy. It's not a place for that, but kind of tell a story. So maybe show pictures so that people can see when they look back at your timeline how your day went, what you did on your holiday, when you before and after haircuts, things like that. Spread it out and tell a story overall, but with each picture as well, kind of make it, you don't have to put a massive caption, but don't just put my kid on the swing. Put, we had a lovely day at the park and the sun was shining and little Johnny really loves the swings, and kind of make it into something a bit more than just a picture of a kid on a swing. Tell a story with it, and like I said, that doesn't need to be a long story, just a story is quite nice, I think. So those were my 15 top tips for growing your Instagram account. I would love to hear what you think. If you try any of them out, do please let me know how you get on. I'd love to know whether you've seen an improvement or not really with it. You can find the show notes for this and all previous podcasts at vickycharles.com/podcast, and you can download my podcast from Spreaker or through the Stitcher app, I believe. I can be contacted via my website, vickycharles.com, through Facebook, where I am Vicky Charles Writer, or on Twitter or Instagram, where I am at Vicky C Writes. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back next week.